I was under the delusion that when Joe Biden fell on his bike, that it mostly received some cuts and bruises. I'm beginning to wonder if maybe he received a groin injury. President Biden, perhaps you are unaware that you are facing down a bully, and worse than that, his gang. I know that you've tried to be fair, and that's your weakness. Now, anyone who has dealt with bullies will tell you that the only thing they fear is strength. I understand that you appointed judges that were right-leaning. Do you think Orange Jesus would do that for the left? He has already made it clear that loyalty to him will be your ticket to appointments. I don't know if you can see it, but the fix was in as soon as the majority of the Supreme Court leaned not only right, but MAGA, which brings me to the recent court decision. First of all, I think it's unconstitutional. Its ruling created a new set of laws that the president is covered by. Where in the Constitution does it say that the court can make new laws? I thought the power to make laws rested with the Congress. Of course, the way our Congress has been working, no one would know that. The problem with that is that the asylum inmates would be deciding if the inmates should be free. And that brings us to the crux of the matter. What should be done about it? I suggest that President Biden take his new powers for a spin. First, pack the courts. 4 more should do it, but 7 would be nice. Then arrest Alito for treason, that is, giving aid and comfort to the enemy. Alito will probably throw his wife under the bus again, but throw him in jail anyway. You can't be prosecuted. Arrest Clarence Thomas for accepting bribes and put his wife in jail for her part in the insurrection. Remove Gorsuch, Coney Barrett, and Kavanaugh for lying when they said Roe v. Wade was settled law. Arrest those congresspeople who visited the Jan 6 insurrectionists for also giving aid and comfort. Remove Trump's Secret Service protection and let it be known that his assassin is in line for a pardon. The worst that the MAGA crowd could say is, you're weaponizing the Justice Department, and for the first time, they would be right. The Supreme Court, chose to make a decision that any 7-year-old child could make. It was basically between what's right and a lollipop, and they chose a lollipop. The question is whether any person has immunity from criminal prosecution. That's right. In this situation, the president should be considered any person, unless we are not all equal under the law. If I choose to go through a red light, I am breaking the law. A policeman might pull me over with the idea of giving me a ticket. Now, I think that almost all policemen will ask why I did that. The chances of me getting out of a ticket often rest with why. If it turns out that my wife called me and my house is on fire, then I might be let go with a warning. Hell, I might get a police escort. That's why we have a judicial system, to judge right from wrong. Since the end of the Second World War, what we have had to live with is the threat of nuclear holocaust. Do you think that Putin would have to think twice about bombing the U.S. if he weren't also faced with annihilation? What keeps an honest man from doing wrong is honor. What keeps a dishonest man from doing wrong is fear of consequences. I find it hard to believe that a man who threatens his adversaries with revenge criminal prosecution is honorable. Before I go, my wife told me she heard that Biden might be considering stepping down and passing his votes to the vice president. Before you do anything rash, take a poll and go with the one most likely to defeat Trump. If that means Harris steps down and someone else more popular steps in and then accedes to the top spot, that would be the way to go. Don't assume that what would make sense in a normal world would make sense now. These are not normal times. They are absolutely crazy. This is the part where I'm supposed to beg you to subscribe. I'm not sure that begging works, so I'm going to use threats. That's right. If you don't subscribe, I'm going to have to go to OnlyFans. I know what you're saying. That will ruin the platform. And you're right. So, if not for me, do it for all the young girls who have sold their souls for Coach bags. And, if you're feeling generous, buy me a coffee. It will help while I'm looking at bikinis.